What's up, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of my social media book tour right here on YouTube for a walk through London. So, to talk a little bit about the book I started writing towards the end of 2019, so like end of November of 2019 into February and March of 2020. The idea of the book really came from a good friend of mine, Vicky. She kind of inspired me to write the book because I kind of wanted to, it was like an idea of what it would be like if I got to visit her and hang out with her in England, which is where she's from. And also the idea of wanting to actually go to London and just walk around. And taking those two ideas together, and this was really going to be the first story I really wanted to put a version of me in this story, and that's pretty much what I did. It's a character named James, who's a somewhat successful writer, who's a pro wrestling fan, and has a girlfriend, and catches his girlfriend in the act one day, one day with another man. And he gets very depressed, and he has a very good friend named Jennifer who suggests that he takes a trip. And it doesn't matter where he takes a trip, just needs to take a little vacation, a little downtime. And he packs a bag, takes his passport just in case, goes to the airport, and asks the person at the front desk, where's at the airport, where's the first flight out of town. It just happens to be London, and that's where he goes. And it's in London where a woman named Sophia lives, who had gone through a bit of her own kind of tragedy when her boyfriend was tragically lost in a accidental explosion. And there was a night where she's sitting in a restaurant called Radio Rooftop having dinner, and James is there, his first night in London, and he goes to the bathroom, and he bumps into Sophia's table, knocking her drink over. He offers to buy her a drink. She says it's okay. He goes to the bathroom. He comes back. He introduces himself. He gets very nervous, um, trying to talk to her, kind of like a teenager, or like how any of us would when we see someone who we think is cute and we just suddenly forget how to speak normally. That's kind of what James was kind of going through in that moment. He says it was nice to meet you, and he goes back to his table, finishes eating, and then goes home. It goes back to his hotel. Sophia finishes eating and can't stop thinking about that conversation, that weird conversation she thought that she had with James. So after she finishes eating and pays for her food and drink, she goes to James's table, and James is not there. She realizes that she missed her chance. She thinks of it as, oh well. And the next day, James goes on like goes through all the touristy sites. He goes to Buckingham Palace. He goes to Princess Diana Fountain. He goes to the park. He goes to all these different museums. Then he ends up in this neighborhood where there is this school called Kensington Primary School, which is where Sophia works as a primary teacher. And she comes walking out. James sees her, sees this as a second chance, and he takes it, goes and talks to her. They talk for a little bit. James says, I'm just gonna ask her. And he asks her out for a cup of coffee, and she says yes, and then he takes her, and then she takes him to her favorite coffee spot called Caffeine, which is caffeine with a K is how they spell it, at this particular coffee shop in London. And that is where we're going to start this reading. It's from chapter 3 called A Walk Through London. So let's just dive right into it. This is my favorite place to get coffee. Every morning before work, I come here and get a white chocolate mocha with a pinch of whipped cream and with a chocolate and espresso cookie, Sophia said. Really? That's pretty close to what I normally order from the Starbucks on my block back at home. Except mine is with almond milk with no whipped cream, James says. Guess, yeah, I guess that is pretty close. Well, at least you know what to order, Sophia said. This is true, James said. They both walked inside, ordered their coffee, sat down, and talked. Almost nothing seemed to be off the table once they started talking. They talked about their careers, music, and movies they liked. James made Sophia laugh when he told her a story from his childhood and the trouble he and his friends got into. Sophia made James laugh when she told him a story from her years at the university. It was clear to anyone walking into the coffee shop that Sophia and James were having a good time and enjoying each other's company. There was a connection forming between James and Sophia with each word, with each laugh they shared with each other. In the middle of Sophia talking, James's phone began to ring, and his ringtone was Undisputed Era's theme music, a faction group from WWE's NXT. James turned the ringer off, and normally Sophia wouldn't ask this question, but James's ringtone made her curious. Was that the Undisputed Era music I just heard? Sophia asked. Yes, it was. Are you a wrestling fan? James asked. I am a wrestling fan. I've been a fan of WWE since I was a kid, Sophia said. No way. I've been a WWE fan since I was a kid, James said with excitement. And that is a little reading from A Walk Through London, which is available now on Amazon and on BarnesandNoble.com. Yeah, that's it. I was going to bring up my other two books. I think I will. I'll go ahead. So my other two books is In the Dark, The Sun Will Rise, which is also available on BarnesandNoble.com and on Amazon. And then my newest book, My Life in a Nutshell, which is a story about my life. That's available on Amazon now and will be available on BarnesandNoble.com on October 8th. I want to bring up one more thing about the book, A Walk Through London. After I had published this book, a new idea for an ending came to me for this book, and it's an alternate ending that would change the book itself pretty much. Now, don't get me wrong. I am very proud of this book and how it is from start to finish, from beginning to end. I am proud of how this book is, but this never sleeps. And an idea came to me randomly at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up. I usually sometimes I fall asleep with the TV on, and I fell asleep with the TV on, and then I woke up, and as I turned the TV off, this idea just like came to me, and I wrote it down, and I was like, damn, that's a good idea. And then I tested this idea out on my mom, and she loved my idea, but it's my mom. She's always gonna like what I do. So I tried this out on a few random people talking about a walk through London, and I told them about this alternate ending, and they loved it, and it tested really, and me testing that out with other people, they really loved it. So getting to what I'm going to do with A Walk Through London is get the copy. So as the book is now, A Walk Through London, available now, BarnesandNoble.com and on Amazon, but sometime between December of this year and January of 2025, I'm going to release a second edition of A Walk Through London with the alternate ending, and I will talk about that alternate ending moving as we get close, as when it comes out, and probably maybe do another social media book tour for A Walk Through London with the second edition for with the alternate ending, maybe. But for now, that'll be it. Alternate ending for A Walk Through London will be out like December or January, second edition. But for now, A Walk Through London as it is. It's a good love story as it is now, from start to finish, and I am proud of how this came out. So get this copy now, BarnesandNoble.com and on Amazon. I know I said it a lot of times. But, anyway, so, yeah. And that'll do it for my social media book tour, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.